The Myanmar government systematically discriminates against the Rohingya Muslims, restricting their access to education and other essential services. In response, organizations work to provide resources and mitigate the discrimination the Rohingya face. This systematic discrimination has deep historical roots, tracing back to Myanmar's discriminatory post-World War II policies, which were created because the Rohingya were perceived to be aligned with the British. Following World War II, the newly independent Burmese government refused to acknowledge the Rohingya as citizens, perceiving them to have sided with the British during Myanmar's colonial rule. Movements followed from the Muslim Rohingya to join the newly created state of Pakistan. In 1962, Myanmar's military junta, led by Ne Win, seized control of the government through a coup d'etat. The government introduced another law that stripped all Rohingya of access to full citizenship. In August of 2017, armed attacks and violence by the Myanmar military forced 700,000 Rohingya in the Rakhine state to flee into southern Bangladesh. Now, there are more than 1.1 million Rohingya refugees living in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar region.
The mass displacement has fueled tensions, with different perspectives on the conflict. One perspective centers around the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, known as the ARSA, a group formed in response to the persecution of Rohingya. The ARSA is formed by a group of Rohingya people to resist oppression and discrimination against Rohingya Muslims. They want to support autonomy for the Rohingya people living in Myanmar. August 25, 2017, they attacked the police and army post in Rakhine, a state in Myanmar, resulting in the Myanmar government declaring the ARSA a terrorist organization and attacking many Rohingya villages in their country as a response. The Bangladesh and Myanmar government also plays an important role. The Myanmar military has shown violence towards many Rohingya people, for example, the Rohingya genocide, causing many Rohingya people to take refuge in Bangladesh, where they have trouble finding shelter, education, and legal rights. The Myanmar government does not want Rohingya people to live in their country, so they have produced many anti-citizenship laws that targeted towards Rohingya people, along with having a military that is violent and aggressive towards them. What's worse is that the Bangladesh government refuses to provide the Rohingya refugees with shelter and legal rights.
These struggles are worsened by discriminatory laws that restrict the rights of the Rohingya. Currently in Myanmar, the Rohingya face many discriminatory laws, such as restrictions on marriage, employment, education, religion, and movement. For example, to exit their township, Rohingya must gain prior approval from the Burmese government. Additionally, the Bangladesh government refuses to grant the Rohingya refugees legal citizenship, and due to their statelessness, it is challenging for them to get healthcare and educational support from either government.
Because of these discriminatory laws, many individuals and organizations have been working to help support the Rohingya people. For example, organizations such as Rohingya Response and Children on the Edge have been working to provide an education for Rohingya people by directly providing them with free schools and classrooms and shelter for children. Many activists such as Rima Sultana Rimu have been fighting for the literacy of Rohingya people. Additionally, UNHCR, the UN's refugee agency, has been providing shelter and legal support for the Rohingya people, ensuring that Rohingya people and children have a safe environment to live in. Some people may be wondering why ensuring that the Rohingya people have an education matters to us. The lack of education for the Rohingya refugees matters because having educated people in society in general enables more people to sustain jobs and develop technology that can help more people. Additionally, the Rohingya people currently being discriminated against sets a precedent for how humans can be treated. Exposing this issue to more people would raise global awareness to the problem, so more people would advocate for the rights of the Rohingya and people in general. In conclusion, because of the local conflict in Myanmar between the ARSA and the Myanmar government, many Rohingya people have been forced to flee to Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, they are living in refugee camps with limited resources. They have poor shelter, healthcare, and education, although many organizations are working to change this.